Support meta has seen a big shakeup this patch, with enchanters on the way out and melee supports on the rise. ADC meta is evolving once again with another massive patch for the role. We've got all this and much more to cover as we bring you guys a complete update on the solo queue tier list thanks to the help of our challenger players and analyzing the most recent data. And just before we get started, if you want to improve fast and get the rank you've always wanted, then go to skillcap.com. Stop wasting your time grinding thousands of games only to see no progress. With Skillcap, you'll uncover the secrets to climbing ranks fast that only take a few minutes to learn and can be immediately applied in your next game. The best part is completely risk-free to try, as you're kept safe with our rank up insurance. If you don't significantly improve while actively using Skillcap, then you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Get the rank you've always wanted by clicking the link in the description below. Alright, now back to the video, starting off with the top lane. A new top lane champion that many pros have been pulling out in solo queue as of recent is Rek'Sai. It's no secret how broken Rek'Sai is in the jungle right now, but top lane Rek'Sai is gaining some attention as well. If you remember back to patch 13.11, Rek'Sai Q cooldown was reduced from 4 seconds down to 2 seconds at max rank, which is a big reason for her rise as a top laner. Passive heal was buffed too, so the sustain is better than before. For solo queue specifically, the champion is faring quite well into melee picks like K'Sante, Aatrox, Sion, and Riven. Analytically, Rek'Sai is performing worse into Malphite, which isn't much of a surprise. The 2-item core providing Rek'Sai with incredible side lane pressure consists of Stridebreaker and Hullbreaker. Rek'Sai has sneaky good split push power due to the auto reset and bonus damage from Q. The dive power is insane as well due to Rek'Sai being able to drop turret aggro with her ultimate. Don't sleep on top lane Rek'Sai, as she will be placed in our top lane S tier for 13.12. One more pick who is much more common in the jungle but is drawing a good amount of attention up in the top lane is Ivern. Ivern top is actually smashing meta picks like Jax, Darius, and K'Sante, winning over 52% of the time against all three. The builds are so much different than that of Ivern jungle, as you play top lane Ivern full AP and way more carry oriented. A really interesting build seeing a lot of success in 13.12 consists of rushing Rylai's, going Nashor second, and then Liandry's third. Aerie is going to be the keystone rune with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Gathering Storm. Secondary page is Second Wind and Revitalize. Level 6 is where you can really begin taking control with Ivern top, as having Daisy in action provides you incredible dueling power. During the early levels, if the enemy tries to jump on you, just pop shield, root them with Q, kite away, and you should win most trades. As for Ivern's tier list placement, he will be taking home a spot in our top lane A tier. The bulk of the top lane tier list does not change very much from mid-patch, as Jax and Malphite will remain the OP picks. One other minor adjustment consists of moving Gragas even further down the top lane tier list. We noted in the pre-patch tier list that the nerfs would more heavily affect lane Gragas than jungle Gragas, and that is most definitely played out. Gragas could remain a decent pick for the pro scene, but for solo queue specifically, we would advise to stay away as he will be dropped into our C tier. Highest priority top laners to climb low elo the fastest are Malphite, Mundo, and Garen. Fiora, Jax, and Malphite are 3 of the most valuable top lane bans. Jungle was the role least impacted by the 13.12 changes, so the meta has stabilized quite nicely. Ivern and Rek'Sai are just a cut above everyone else right now, so they will be leading the charge in the OP tier. One adjustment we're making for mid-patch is moving Kha'Zix up into the S tier. We had dropped Kha'Zix from OP into A for the pre-patch tier list, but the nerfs have not been as negative as expected, so he gets a push back into S. There's a little bit of everything on top of the meta right now, so choosing someone strong that fits your playstyle shouldn't be that difficult. For a heavy ganking jungler, both Rek'Sai and Jarvan are extremely strong. For an assassin jungler, Evelynn, Rengar, and Kha'Zix are all top tier right now. For more of a skirmishing pick, you've got Kindred and Bel'Veth in exceptionally strong spots, and of course, for more of a supportive jungler, Ivern is insanely broken. To climb low elo the fastest from the jungle, Rammus, Vi, and Nocturne are great to have in your champion pool. A few of the best jungle bans of the patch include Evelynn, Kindred, and Rek'Sai. Yone and Yasuo have been flip-flopping in power quite heavily over the past few patches, and in 13.12, they have become significantly weaker. Their 2 core items being Gale Force and Bloodthirster were hit with nerfs, which has resulted in a pretty negative outcome. Of course, Static Shiv was buffed, but it's really not performing any better than Gale Force as a rush option. A new build that is starting to gain a bit of popularity consists of rushing Kraken Slayer. It's actually performing better than Gale Force or Shiv as a rush item, and it's being played quite a bit in NA solo queue. Kraken into Infinity Edge and Shield Bow is the 3-item core that is looking quite promising to start 13.12. All in all though, both champs are in weaker spots for this patch and will be dropped back down from A into B tier. One set of changes that have exceeded our expectations for 13.12 were the Ryze buffs. We did not originally expect the buffs to see much of an impact on Ryze's power for solo queue, but he's seen over a 2% spike in win rate as a result of them. With that said, Ryze still has his flaws and he's not a top tier champion by any means, but he does require a push up in the tier list, going from C into A for 13.12. For the mid lane tier list, the premier picks are looking the exact same as pre-patch, with Neeko, Ahri, and Annie in the OP tier. There aren't any other notable champion shifts on the tier list for mid-patch, but there is a new build trend emerging. With Static Shiv buff this patch, there are a few few mid lane champions performing very well with the item that you wouldn't really expect. Zoe is actually loving Shiv as a rush option and is finding great results with a core build of Shiv, Ludens, and Lich Bane. Who needs to land skill shots when you can just melt the enemy to death with empowered auto attacks? Akali is another who can work great with Shiv, and we actually just featured this setup in our recent OP builds video. One more is LeBlanc, as she's the mid lane champion running it the most right now. It's the exact same 3-item core that is being run on Zoe. If there are any other champs you think we are missing who are sleeper with the item, let us know in the comments. The best champs to climb low elo from mid lane this patch are Malzahar, Aurelion Sol, and Annie. Ahri, Neeko, and Fizz are who we have highest on our ban list. Without question, the biggest loser at patch 13.12 was Zeri, as she has seen a monumental drop in power. Since Sheen no longer works with Zeri Q, the win rate of Trinity Force on the champ has fallen over 7%, but 40% of Zeri players are still building it. I guess people don't read the patch notes. Now, if you're looking to play Zeri, the build we would recommend trying is Static Shiv with Hurricane and Quick Blades. Even by swapping over to crit build, Zeri is significantly weaker than last patch, and we will be pushing her down even further on the tier list, going from B into C tier. Zeri was the biggest loser from 13.12 changes, while the biggest winner was most definitely Ashe. In our OP builds video, we noted that Ashe has been very sleeper with the Trinity Force build, and it's really taking off. About 17% of Ashe players are now rushing Trinity, while it was down below 6% last patch. Correct build adaptation combined with the direct buffs, and Ashe is all of a sudden in a very powerful spot for solo queue. The build you'll want to be playing is Trinity Force Rush into Kraken Slayer 2nd and Hurricane 3rd. We'll be giving Ashe a considerable bump up the tier list for mid patch, going from A into OP tier. So the complete ADC tier list is looking a bit different for mid patch, with Samira, Ashe, and Miss Fortune locking down OP tier slots. Samira and Miss Fortune are both incredibly strong with lethality builds right now, which has pushed them past the crit ADCs in priority due to so many recent crit item nerfs. Other than bumping Samira and Ashe up into OP tier, one other change we have made for mid patch is pushing Lucian down a tier. We definitely underestimated how much of Lucian's solo queue power came from the Nami duo, and he's seen a drastic drop in win rate as a result. A lot of this win rate drop definitely has to do with the fact Lucian is just garbage with Nami now, while he's actually not bad with melee engaged supports. Lucian is still being played predominantly with Nami though, which is dragging his win rate down a lot more. Play Lucian with melee supports like Thresh, Blitz, Pyke, or Braum, and he's actually a solid pick, but with enchanters, and especially Nami, it's just not the play anymore. Once players realize this, we don't see Lucian being as weak as his 48% win rate suggests, so we'll be giving him a small drop from S into A tier. The top 3 ADCs to climb low elo the fastest are Twitch, Miss Fortune, and Ashe. Samira, Draven, and Ezreal are a few of the best ADC bans of the patch. If you guys were playing Ashe support over the past patch, it's really not worth playing anymore for 13.12. Riot threw in some last minute changes to where Echoes of Helia no longer works with Font of Life. This has pretty much killed the viability of Ashe support, and has seen her win rate while rushing Echoes of Helia drop to 44%. C tier is where Ashe support will be placed on the tier list. One enchanter who has been absolutely hammered by their 13.12 nerfs is Yuumi. This one was a massacre, as Yuumi has seen a 6% drop in win rate. It's not just the direct nerfs Yuumi received that is leading to this sharp decline in strength though. Zeri was by far Yuumi's most successful duo partner in 13.11, and with Zeri being heavily nerfed too, it's negatively impacted Yuumi even more. Overall, it's just not worth it to be playing Yuumi in solo queue anymore, and she will be dropped further down the tier list into our C tier. For the support tier list, we have one adjustment to the OP tier, as Rell will be moving up, joining Blitzcrank and Janna. Rell has been an incredibly strong support ever since her 13.11 hotfix buffs, and the 13.12 nerfs did not put a dent in her power at all. Couple this with the fact that Samira is currently the best ADC in meta, and everything is working in Rell's favor right now. Enchanters were heavily nerfed this patch too, with Yuumi, Melio, and Lulu being way weaker, so melee picks like Rell have seen a nice rise up. It's not just Rell though who is a great melee support for 13.12, as Rakan, Blitzcrank, Thresh, Nautilus, Alistar, Pyke, and Leona are all in the best spots they've been in for months. One enchanter who is actually worth picking up now and should be prioritized over Yuumi, Melio, and Lulu is Soraka. The Moonstone buffs this patch have proven to be quite impactful for Soraka, with the item seeing about a 2% spike in win rate. If enchanters are more up your alley than the melee supports, Janna and Soraka are the two best options in 13.12. To escape low elo from the support role, look into maining Heimerdinger, Zyra, or Blitzcrank. Highest value bans from the support role include Nautilus, Blitzcrank, and Rell. So that concludes our tier list update, but if you want to improve fast and get the rank you've always wanted, then go to skillcapped.com. With premium courses for every role and skill, taught by the best players, Skillcapped is the perfect platform to help take your game to the next level. Take our wave control course. While you wait for your next game to start, you can learn freezing, fast pushing, slow pushing, bouncing waves, the list goes on, all in just a few minutes to maximize your improvement rate. Or maybe you just like seeing your opponent's health go to 0. Then you'll love our trading course. We even have a skill test at the end so you can see how good you really are. Players just like you are leaving 5-star reviews and raving at how helpful they are. That's not all we offer though, as every week we release 10 brand new Smurf commentaries where a challenger player teaches you how to climb out of the exact rank you're stuck in. If you're looking for something more personal instead, then we got you covered with one-on-one coaching from our trained challenger experts. All this seemed too good to be true? Well, don't worry, we're backed by a rank up guarantee. If you don't significantly improve while actively using SkillCap, then you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below and get the rank you've always wanted. Alright, thanks so much guys for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and we'll see you in the next one.